Travis Magus, here with LVX777, and today we're going to talk a little bit about how to safely summon demons. Now, there's a lot of YouTube videos out there on this subject, and an awful lot of them are incorrect. And you can just tell by listening to the speaker who actually knows what they're doing and who just found out about something and they're trying to quickly make a video. The reason that this is important is because it's potentially dangerous, right? You don't want to play with any type of power or force without properly understanding what you're doing. That's foolish. You're not going to get into a car unless you know how to drive. You're not going to operate a forklift until you know how to drive a forklift, right? So, this video is about how to safely summon a demon or any type of spirit, really. The first thing that must be in order is your mind. The first thing that must be in order is your state of mind. You really don't want to go into this route of evocation when you're very emotionally disturbed or emotionally upset, right? You don't want to do this when you're pissed off, when you're obsessed and in love with somebody, when you're sad and depressed. You don't want to be out of balance. So the very first thing that must be in order is your house must be in order. Your mind must be settled, calm. The best thing to do before summoning anything is to meditate. Okay. The very next thing, the second most important thing, is to know who you're contacting, right? The best protection and safety for any evocation or dealing with any spirit is knowledge. Knowledge is power. If you're going to summon a demon from the Goetia, research, read, right? Look them up. Get all the information you can so that when you're doing the ritual, you're familiar with who you're talking to, right? And you're going to be familiar to a degree with how he's going to respond to you, right? If you're an interviewer for some show, before you allow such and such guest to come onto your show, you do a lot of research to figure out who he is, what he's about, what he's done in the past, so that you can have a conversation, right? You don't just invite somebody blindly. You don't have anything to talk about. And furthermore, you're going to offend the person because you're wasting their time. So, number one, get your mind right. Number two, get on your research and figure out who you're talking to. Okay? And number three is to have focus. All right? Eliminate fear. You can't do this if you're scared. You can't. Fear is an illusion, and fear is worthless. It's not going to help you, not going to protect you, being cautious and, better safe than sorry. No. Understand that each one of these spirits that you can possibly contact is a part of you in some sense, right? Just like within the human body exists every element, right, that is out there. To some degree, we have every element that exists in the physical plane within this body. So too in the spirit, you have a piece of each one of these spirits that you can possibly contact. That's how they contact with you. They communicate with you through the part that's within yourself that is similar to them. Okay, so those are the main things to have in preparation before starting evocation or summoning or anything like that. And there's a fourth one, actually, a very, very important fourth one, and that's intention. Why are you doing this? Don't just do it just because. Don't just do it to see if demons are real. Have a reason, have a purpose, okay? If you're going to be summoning a spirit to deal with, money, finances, have a reason for why and how and what you're going to use this money for. Don't just summon a demon asking for money just because you're broke. have a reason for it, right? I'm going to do XYZ project for XYZ purpose, and I need to be funded. Let me summon this demon that deals with finances so that he can channel that energy into what I need it to be used for, right? And then there's action. Once you do this evocation and ask for a specific thing or command for a specific thing, you need to go out into the physical world and do something that will open yourself to receive, right? The Bible says faith without works is dead, all right? If you're, again, with the money example, you don't do a ritual for money and just sit on your ass playing video games. No, you go out there, you look for a new job, you try to start a new hustle, right? You put yourself out there doing different things. And this energy that you called for in the ritual to get money is going to find itself, find you, right? Through your different outreaches. You're reaching out to connect, and the ritual is reaching towards you, all right? Then you make the connection. Then you make the result. And then you say, I did it, right? If you do a ritual for love, for sex, again, don't just sit on your ass. Go to a new coffee shop, right? Go out, shop at a new store, take a different route. Go out to the club, a different club. You know what I'm saying? Do something different, right? And just as water seeks to find its own level, it seeks the easiest path, so does the spirit. Okay? Make yourself available and the spirit will find its way to you through the easiest path, right? Usually spiritual and magical results happen in the most mundane ways, right? It's never really, this big flash. It just channels itself, right? If you really believe that you were going to get this magical result, you would do things with the faith that you're going to receive eventually, right? Now, as for the actual process of summoning a demon, step one, you want to put yourself in a meditative state. Okay, so you want to sit down, relax, and you want to release your mind from the day-to-day activities. The best way to do this is to focus on the sigil of the spirit that you are trying to connect with. If this is from the Goetia, of course you do your research on the spirit you're trying to contact. You draw his sigil, or you paint his sigil, whichever way that you are best at. You put your energy into it as you're drawing the sigil. Okay. Once you have this, you place it in front of yourself. One of the easiest and best ways for a beginner to do this is to cut out a piece of cardboard, a square. Get a magic marker, like this one, and draw the sigil. And get something to prop it up in front of you. And the best way is to angle it at 45 degrees, okay? So you have something to prop it up that's straight, and the table or altar is like this. Have something that's going to kind of lean it, okay, at 45 degrees. The spirit world enters this world at a 45-degree angle. If you have a mirror that you can have at 45 degrees, even better. But if not, that's fine. In front of the sigil, you want to have a candle. A little small tea light candle. That'll work just fine. Or one of the thick ones, whatever. But have the candle with the flame. Have the sigil tilted behind it. And stare at the sigil with the candle in your front peripheral vision. What's happening here is that the flicker of the candle is placing your mind into the alpha state, which is the best place for you to be to receive and transmit while still conscious. What are you receiving and what are you transmitting? You're communicating with your subconscious mind. Alright, you're receiving messages from the spirit world, from yourself, and you're giving the questions and the commands to yourself. This is why candles are used in magic and in ritual and things like that. So, You meditate, you focus on the sigil, you zone out to the candle. If it helps you, it helps me. Get yourself some binaural beats, get some atmospheric mood music, whatever. The whole thing is to calm your body and your mind and get into the zone. Okay? If you gotta wear a robe, if that helps you get into the zone, do it. Right? If you gotta paint your nails and do this, that, and a third to get into the magical zone, do whatever it takes. Okay? This is why athletes come out into the field with their theme music, right? This is why rock stars have on their, and rappers or whatever, have on their rider before every concert, I need to have a whole jar of red M&Ms. I need to have this, that, and a third, right, backstage, because these things symbolize something to them personally that gets their subconscious mind ready for what's about to go down. So with you and all the things that you've seen in movies about magic and learned in books and all this stuff, you've got certain things, keys, and triggers that are going to put your mind into the zone. So whatever that is for you, find it. Okay? And the deeper you go on this, the less you'll need. Because it's not the dagger, it's not the candles, it's not the robe and the incense, it's none of those things. It's not the stones, the gems, right? It's yourself, okay? When you see these objects, it triggers something in you. They symbolize something, and it puts your mind where it needs to be. That's what magic is. Manipulating the subconscious mind to perform specific actions. Okay, so back to the process here of summoning a demon. You get to the meditative state, you focus on the sigil, you focus on the candle, you have your music going, you got your wardrobe going, and a lot of the spirits have like a magic word, right? From the Goetia, there is a demonic N that you can repeat as a mantra, right? You can repeat this mantra over and over and over as you're staring at the sigil, you know. You can do the rock back and forth, zoning out, saying the mantra over and over. Alash taralash tarashtu. Alash taralash tarashtu. Alash taralash tarashtu. Right? As you're zoning out, focusing on the candle, focusing on the sigil, and you'll start to notice, and even with the Necronomicon, if you want to choose the Necronomicon, 50 names of Marduk, that's a great one to start with if you're an absolute beginner. Ziku, I believe, is number 17. That's a good one to go with. Also, Lugalana is a great one to start with from the Necronomicon. But anyways, they also have a magic word, you know, that you can repeat as a mantra over and over as you're staring at the sigil, right? Let me give you an example, just to make this easy. These guys are cool. ZC is a cool one. Shezu is a cool one for telepathy. Mala is a great one. But I'm looking for somebody specific. I am looking for Lugalana. Alright. If you've got the Necronomicon, it's on page 145. This one right here. And what it says in this grimoire is, the power of the eldest of the elder ones possesses the secret knowledge of the world when the ancient ones and the elder ones were one, knows the essence of the ancient ones and where it might be found. His word is Baldiku, and his seal is this. So, you would take the seal and you would draw it yourself on a piece of cardboard or a piece of paper or anything like that. You'd set it up in front of you, you get your candles, and as you're staring and you're zoning out into his symbol, you're repeating his word, his magic word, Baldiku, Baldiku. What I did when I worked with these spirits is I would repeat them in a rhythmic pattern, right? Baldiku, 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 right? I'm a producer, so I would even create little loops of like a drum beat or something like that, and I would zone out to that, right, as I would repeat the mantra of his name. And you do this until you're no longer thinking about it. You see what I'm saying? It might take a few minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, it depends on you. And the sigil will begin to kind of glow, right? Kind of fuzzy, kind of not fuzzy. Your focus won't be on the candle and on the symbol. You'll kind of like pull your focus back to where everything gets a little bit hazy, right? This is when you'll know that this is starting to work. And if the spirit that you're working with doesn't have a magic word, don't worry about it. That's not going to ruin anything. Repeat the spirit's name, right? Say like, Pazuzu, come. Pazuzu, come, appear before me, Pazuzu, come, right? You repeat it. You repeat what you're doing. Once again, it's not the word, but it's a trigger for your subconscious mind to respond. You're calling forth energies that are already present in you. These aren't demons somewhere out in imaginary hell, right? This is all within you, and you're pulling it out. So you get zoned out, you get your candle and your sigil, you repeat the magic word, you get into the meditative trance. That's what it is, a trance. You prepare the surroundings with whatever you need to get into that trance. Once the trance is in place and you're zoned out, you will feel a presence, you will feel an energy, you will feel some change, okay? Depending on the spirit that you're working with, depends on the change. Working with the spirits of the Necronomicon, it's a very thick, black, brooding, deep energy, right? You definitely feel it, right? Any one of them. And the one that I read is the one that I recommend starting with. So rewind the video a little bit. Lugalana, that's a great one to start with. Read about him. He appeared to me as a really old, really wise Chinese guy with a long mustache and beard and a green robe. And he even spoke with me in the trance and then in a dream when I went to sleep that night. But that was years ago. I wrote it down. Anyways, the safest way to do this is to do it without fear. You don't need to cast a circle of salt. You don't need to, I charge you by the name of Micheal. You don't have to do any of that, right? I mean, just doing that is fear-based, right? Eliminate fear. Get rid of it. You don't need it. There's no place for it. But if that's what it takes to convince your subconscious mind, who am I to judge you? All right. If doing those things will make it work for you, then go on and do it. But what I'm telling you from experience and what many other occultists and magicians, sorcerers, wizards, and magesses and all that will tell you, it's not necessary, right? It's not necessary. But do it if you want. Whatever it takes to convince your subconscious mind. Whatever it takes. But anyways, before you do a ritual, make sure you wrote down the questions that you have for the spirit. Know what you're contacting the spirit for. Don't just call it for nothing to see if it's real. Right? Why waste your time and the spirit's time? Get your intent written down. Why am I doing this? All right, what's the question I'm going to ask? It's kind of difficult when you're getting your answers because you're going to want to write it down, and that's going to kind of break the trance. But Just do your best. Do your best to record the answers however you can. Maybe after the ritual, you know what I'm saying, before you do it, have your paper and your pen ready. So as soon as it's over, you start writing down everything. Just like if you were to wake up from a dream and you try to record your dream, get up, go for the pen, start writing everything down that you remember, even if it doesn't make sense. Then afterwards, come back and analyze it. Most of you watching this video and are going to try this technique, you're not going to see a physical spirit. Some of you might, but don't count on seeing a physical spirit. All right, that's advanced. It's very advanced. It'll take a few years before that will happen. But that's all right, because this isn't about physical manifestations. The spirits are energy. They're energy signatures that have personalities. They are parts of the mind. They exist in a different dimension that is not quite parallel, not quite perpendicular, but it's like 45 degrees. It intersects our reality. And the way that they communicate through you is through energy, right? And your conscious mind interprets that energy into human language. You will hear it as a thought. You will feel it as a feeling. But you're not going to see something standing in front of you. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you might get lucky. But for the most part, for the vast majority of evocations, you're not going to see an actual spirit. If you do, it's mostly going to take place in the astral realm. Right? So that's one great reason to practice astral travel and lucid dreaming and those type of things. I've had plenty of spirits come to me in dreams right after a ritual. You know what I'm saying? Lilith, Azazel, Lugalana, like I mentioned, my own personal genius, demon, Damon. Yeah, so don't get hung up on that. Don't get hung up on anything. This is all fluid, and this is all custom to the magician. All right, there's no right, exact way to do it, but you will feel something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe something will fall off your shelf. Maybe you'll get goosebumps. You know what I'm saying? Just the other night, you know what I'm saying, my brother felt a sudden chill, like he got so scared he had to leave. Like, you will feel something. But this video is how to safely summon demons. The safest way to do it is to do your research, to not be scared, to have a reason for doing this. All right? You go into this thing like the magician that you are, and you be serious about it. It's not a game. It's not for kids. Have a reason. Have an intention. But knowledge is power. The more research you do, the better off you'll be. All right? So this is TKTRAV, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777. I just gave you great insight on how to safely summon a demon. Summon wisely, kids. Peace.